Look at this beautiful, futuristic city. Glass skyscrapers, lush green parks, flying taxis. Now, look at the reality. Empty concrete towers rotting in the jungle, stray dogs roaming the streets, and crocodile-infested waters. What you are looking at is what happens when human ambition completely loses its mind. We have a psychological flaw called the sunk cost fallacy. It's that feeling when you keep watching a terrible movie just because you already paid for the ticket. But what happens when that movie costs $100 billion? Today, we are looking at the spectacular failures of the Megaproject world. These are the most expensive abandoned ghost towns, sinking islands, and empty airports ever built. Get ready, because we are about to watch hundreds of billions of dollars burn to the ground. Let's start in Malaysia, with a project that sounds like a sci-fi utopia, but ended up as a dystopian nightmare. Forest City. The pitch in 2015 was unbelievable. A $100 billion eco-city, built entirely from scratch on 4 artificial islands just across the water from Singapore. No cars on the streets, vertical gardens covering every building, luxury housing for 700,000 people. It was supposed to be the city of the future. Instead, it is a ghost town. Fast forward to today. Out of the 700,000 people they planned for, only about 9,000 actually live there. That's roughly 1%. If you walk down the streets of Forest City right now, it feels apocalyptic. Massive residential towers sit completely empty. The beach, which was supposed to be a luxury resort, has warning signs for crocodiles. Wild monkeys and stray dogs are literally taking back the streets. So what went wrong? Basically, everything. The Chinese developer Country Garden aimed the project at wealthy Chinese buyers, but then China cracked down on people moving their money out of the country. Then the pandemic hit. Then the developer practically went bankrupt, drowning in nearly $200 billion of debt. Today, Forest City is just standing there, empty, quiet, a $100 billion monument to terrible financial planning. But if you think building a ghost town is bad, wait until you hear about building an entire world that is slowly being deleted by the ocean. Welcome to Dubai and the $14 billion disaster known as the World Islands. Back in the early 2000s, Dubai was printing money. They looked at the ocean and said, "Let's build the Earth." The plan was audacious. 300 artificial islands shaped exactly like a map of the globe. You could literally buy Great Britain, or Antarctica, or Japan, and build a massive private mansion on it. To pull this off, engineers had to dredge up 321 million cubic meters of sand from the ocean floor. It cost $14 billion. Celebrities bought in. Billionaires fought over plots. And then 2008 happened. The global financial crisis hit Dubai like an earthquake. The money vanished overnight. Construction stopped cold. And that is when nature decided to fight back. Without constant maintenance and engineering, sand in the middle of the ocean doesn't just sit there, it moves. Rumors and satellite images began circulating that the islands were eroding. They were literally washing back into the sea. The developers denied it, but the photos from space told a very different story. For over a decade, the World Islands sat there as a sandy graveyard. A few luxury resorts are finally starting to open up now, desperately trying to revive the project. But for the most part, it is 300 piles of expensive dirt. Imagine spending $14 billion just to watch the tide wash it away. Now, let's leave the ocean and head to the sun-scorched plains of Spain for a story that is so ridiculous it actually sounds entirely made up. Welcome to Ciudad Real Central Airport. In the early 2000s, Spain was going through a massive construction boom. Someone had the brilliant idea to build a $1.1 billion international airport 2 hours south of Madrid. They didn't just build a small airstrip, they built a mega hub. A runway 4.5 kilometers long, big enough to land the largest Airbus planes on the planet. A terminal designed to handle 2.5 million passengers every single year. It was gleaming, it was modern, it was completely useless. It opened in 2008 at the exact moment the global economy crashed. The airlines looked at it and said, "Why would we fly there?" Almost no one used it. At its peak, the massive billion-dollar airport was handling maybe 3 flights a week. Buses would drive out to the terminal every hour and leave completely empty. 4 years later, it went totally bankrupt. The runway was abandoned, the shiny terminal was locked up. But here is where things get truly insane. During the bankruptcy auction, the airport was put up for sale. A Chinese investment group swooped in and made a bid. For a massive $1.1 billion airport, they offered 10,000 euros. Let that sink in. 10,000 euros. You can't even buy a brand new Honda Civic for 10,000 euros. You could barely buy a steel Rolex watch. The judge eventually blocked that specific sale because it was insultingly low, but the fact remains, Spain built a billion-dollar masterpiece of aviation, and it ended up being worth the price of a used car. So what have we learned today? Whether it's a crocodile-infested city in Malaysia, sinking islands in Dubai, or a useless runway in Spain, human ambition is a double-edged sword. We have the engineering power to build almost anything our brains can imagine, but just because we can build it doesn't mean anyone actually wants to buy it. These megaprojects are more than just concrete and steel. They are warnings, a reminder that you can have all the money in the world, but you cannot bribe reality. Now, I have a question for you. If you had $1 million to waste, which of these abandoned megaprojects would you secretly want to explore? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one of them. If you enjoyed this deep dive into financial insanity, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm you have great taste.